there is a word I fear I may come to overuse on this channel, it has got to be glamour. I am totally obsessed with glamour, whether it's the glamour of Dita Von Teese or old Hollywood icons like Marilyn Monroe, Sophia Loren, Rita Hayworth. I am just obsessed with how these women not only wear beautiful clothes, but they carry themselves so well and they embody glamour in everything they do. And I'm really fascinated and intrigued by that. And on this channel, I want to explore what it means to be a glamorous woman and debunk some of the myths surrounding the word glamour, because in my opinion, you do not need to be rich to be glamorous. You can be glamorous on a budget. Glamour is definitely a lot about the look, but it's very much about the lifestyle and the person you are, and it requires a lot of skill and creativity. Glamour doesn't just happen by accident. Glamour is something very thoughtful and very intentional, and best of all, it's something that anyone can do. It doesn't require you to be naturally beautiful. It doesn't require you to have endless funds in order to just have luxury surrounding you, and that's what makes you glamorous. That's definitely not the case. If you desire to be glamorous, like I always have, then you can be. The desire is enough. You don't have to be a silver screen siren or an Arabian princess with endless funds in order to be glamorous. There are a lot of glamorous icons out there who became icons before they became rich. They became glamorous before they became rich. You don't just sit around in tracksuit bottoms and a t-shirt not putting any effort into becoming glamorous, and then once the funds hit, you're suddenly a glamorous person. That's really not the way it works. So if you aspire to have more money one day, but right now you're on a budget, then this video might be for you. The reality is, not everybody who's rich is glamorous, and not everybody who's glamorous is rich. And so even if you never become rich, you can still be a very glamorous person. An example that I love to think of is the YouTuber Scholl. She loves glamour. She loves everything shiny and glittery and things that look luxurious and opulent, but she didn't always have the money to fund that kind of style and that kind of glamour look that she was going for. And so she had to get really creative. So she made a series on YouTube about how to broke bitch tips, how to become a glamorous person, how to make glamorous decor and clothes. She would look up websites that did designer dupes of things, and just she put so much effort into being a glamorous person, even though she was on a budget at the time. And from sharing that with the world on YouTube, she actually became rich, and now she is very glamorous and she can afford all the designer things. But she has a business in which she makes fake jewelry, fake diamonds, and she wants to make them look as realistic as possible because she understands that everybody deserves a little bit of sparkle in their life. If you are a sparkly person, that's not something that requires a lot of money in order to shine. If you are truly glamorous to your core, and if you put the work in, you do not need the money. And Scholl is a great example of that. And there are tons of examples out there. Just, you know, like I was talking about in my previous video, the wonderful glamour goddess, Dita Von Teese, she wasn't always wealthy. She wasn't always best friends with designers. And she would shop in vintage clothing stores just because the clothes were cheaper. And although vintage clothing can be quite expensive these days, if you go to charity shops, there's always a vintage section, or for Americans, you would call it a thrift shop. There's always a vintage section, and old ladies leave their absolute gems in there. Amazing quality clothing that you can get for less than €10. And so you have to be really mindful that it might take a little bit longer than you hope for. It might take a lot more effort than you wish to put in. But if you are truly dedicated to being a glamorous woman and you want to shop for clothing and you want to look glamorous and put together, then just dedicate your time, dedicate your effort, be very thoughtful about thrifting. 9 times out of 10, you're going to walk into the store and walk right back out with nothing in your hand. But sometimes you will find that gem. And when I tell you, that makes you feel so accomplished and so excited, so much more than if you were to go into a Zara and grab a regular old skirt. Anyway, not to insult Zara, but it's just, it feels so accomplished when you find a vintage item that is just perfect for you, that's something that you love and adore, and it feels one of a kind. And that's another thing about being a glamorous woman that's so important, is to feel like you are one of a kind, to not follow trends, and to be true to who you are all the time. When it's with your personality or your aura, the way you present yourself to people, and that includes your hair and your makeup and your clothes, just be consistent with that. Once you find that, it's like hitting gold. You don't need to change everything all the time just because trends are coming and going. You don't need to chase that, because once that goes, you're just gonna feel a little bit silly. That's the thing with trend cycles. And when we're in the trend cycle, we don't understand that it's actually happening. We think that this is just the ultimate form of beauty. This is just what's good, but it's very fleeting. And I think a lot of us around my age, we're realizing that now when we see the 2010s fashion and how dated that is already, and it's kind of crazy. Like 2016 was less than 10 years ago, but when you look at the Tumblr style of the time, like it is completely different to how style is now, and things can look extremely dated. And look, if that suits you and that's your style, then absolutely go for it. But you want something that's going to be timeless for you, right? Something that's never going to make you feel silly, because you know that's just your style, that's just who you are. You're gonna look good if you're in the 30s, you're gonna look good if you're in the 2020s, you're gonna look good if you're in the 90s, because it just suits you so well. It speaks for itself. It's not something that's on you, it's something that's a part of you. And that's really important to find when you're finding your personal style, which I definitely will make a video about finding your personal style. But referencing people like Dita Von Teese again, Dita Von Teese, she has had the same style since the 90s. She has had the exact same hairstyle, the exact same makeup. She has a signature look that she knows is perfect for her, truly reflects who she is, and she has kept it. So she has proven that this isn't just a phase. This isn't just something that she's picking up because she likes to be alternative and it's something that's sort of cool at the time. She has gone through so many phases where her style has gone in and out of style. People like it, people don't like it, in different eras. She's in her 50s now, and she's still stuck with the exact same style she had in her 20s. And there's just something so incredibly charming about that. That is true glamour. I don't think a lot of people in this day and age really embody that. I can't think of a lot of other examples like her, and that's why I'm definitely going to reference her throughout a lot of my videos, because she is a huge inspiration when it comes to glamour. And she is a living person too. Most of the glamour goddesses that we think of are from the 40s and 50s and 60s. So my advice to you would be just refine your taste. You don't have to have a huge budget if you're wearing the same skirt for 20 years. You just need to really refine your taste and just reel it in with all the trends. Maybe stop going on TikTok. Honestly, they really got me there for a second with the bows. I was getting bow everything, and then suddenly I realized this is going to be really dated really soon. This isn't something that's truly going to push through as, you know, something that's part of my personal style to this extent in my 60s. But there are certain things that in my mind, in my heart, I know I'm gonna keep with me till my 60s, because it's just a part of who I am. It's just something that makes me feel more me. And that's what we should be going for in our personal style. So when it comes to budgeting, just think of the items in your wardrobe or the accessories you have that already make you feel like that, and be a little bit more thoughtful about it. What exactly makes you feel like that about them? What exactly is it that makes you feel like yourself, like the ultimate version of yourself, and not just, that looks good on her, I want that too, because it's really, really hard to tell the difference between the two. But once you do, you have struck gold, and that means you'll also save a lot of money because your wardrobe will be much, much smaller. Another piece of glamour budgeting advice I would give you is just do everything yourself. Just become a master of your own beauty. Do your own makeup, do your own nails, do your own facials, your own skincare. No need for paying for professionals to do this. Study yourself, learn about yourself. You know you better than anybody else. It's really pointless getting your nails done when you can learn how to do your nails. So you don't have to show up to the nail salon and have your signature nail style in your head and say, oh, this is what I want, and for them, only for them to say, oh, we don't have that color available. And that's not good enough. You can do it yourself, and you can always have your signature nails all the time, and the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. That's something that I've been working on recently as well. My nails, my red nails, I wear the same color all the time, and I put a little glitter coat on top, and that's what I love to do. And if you just massage your cuticles, you can get long nails, you can look after things yourself, and they can look great. There's really no need for you to be paying other people to do these things when they do a lot of other people's nails, they do a lot of other people's things. They don't know exactly what it is that makes you shine. You're the one responsible for studying that and learning what makes you sparkle, what makes you shine, what makes you feel mostly like yourself, what makes you feel glamorous. And that's the beauty of things. This glamour, it can make you feel really powerful. You then become really self-reliant. You're almost this authority on yourself that nobody else can replicate. You're your own stylist, your own makeup artist, your own nail tech, your own brow tech, everything. Just learn. It's gonna be really messy at the start. I'm not a professional beauty therapist, so I can tweak a lot of things, but it's so satisfying to learn that for yourself. Learn what's good for you, and then to be able to pass that on and teach other people how to do that. It's a real skill. It's a very difficult skill, so it's something that we should hone our whole lives. That's what being glamorous is, honing the skill of beauty. It's not just something we can pass on to someone else, and that's something that rich people really often do. So in order to be glamorous on a budget, you just have to be really creative and really dedicated. If you're on a budget and you're glamorous, if you see a woman who is glamorous, but she doesn't necessarily have a lot of money, that means she is just so dedicated to being glamorous that she has thought about it so much. It takes real thought to be glamorous on a budget. So I think you should see it as a challenge, and you can develop a lot of skills along the way. You can develop the skill of being able to alter your clothing, being able to find clothing in places like thrift stores or on Depop, or just anything secondhand and vintage. It's going to be better quality, and sometimes it's going to be suited to you better as well, and it's going to last a really long time rather than all the trendy things that are in the stores nowadays. A lot of the time when pursuing glamour, you have to think about the things that money can't buy. Your knowledge, your intrigue, your allure, all those things that make you you, that make people so intrigued and enchanted by you, those are things that you can't buy with money. Just because someone is extremely wealthy doesn't mean they're going to be interesting or attention grabbing or theatrical. These are all things that you develop inside. It's something in you. It's who you are. It's working on yourself, being thoughtful about your persona and developing that. That's not necessarily something that wealthy people can always have, but people who are on a budget, we can think about these things. We can put thought into these things, and we can develop ourselves. And that's just something money can't buy. And just forget about the overly expensive beauty products. They are so unnecessary. As I mentioned in my previous video, Dita Von Teese, she uses some lipsticks from MAC. They are €20, so someone who can afford literally any wonderful lipstick, and I know she does have beautiful lipsticks from Guerlain and more expensive ones, but she even uses €20 lipsticks because she knows they're good. And a lot of the time, really good products are accessible to all of us. For my skin, I have found the perfect formula, the perfect products that I can make my skin feel baby soft with, and make my skin smell amazing and be moisturized and nourished in the process. And now, that is cheap. That is not something that needs to be extremely expensive. It is fun to get expensive products and they can smell really beautiful, but they all do the same job. Moisturizer is moisturizer. If you find a good one that's nice for your skin, Nivea, for example, that's one of the best moisturizers out there. There's no need to be going for these really high-end products when you know a cheaper one works for you. So really pare it back and look into the basics, especially with things like skincare and even makeup. There are some makeup products that really don't need to be expensive. One of them being black eyeliner. I always go for the cheapest possible black eyeliner in the store, the liquid liner, and I like it. I don't mind it. I would feel crazy if I spent 30-40 euro on a liquid eyeliner. It's just so unnecessary. Nobody's going to notice it. It's not going to benefit you very much. So I think you should be more thoughtful about these things. Now, maybe there are some products that you really like that are expensive, but I can guarantee you there are great affordable products out there. We're in a time where everybody is sharing these things, so you just need to take the time to think and study and learn and just be willing to really open your mind to these things that money can't buy. How glamour is a concept, it's a lifestyle, and it's something you can adopt for yourself. So just start thinking about it a little bit more. Just be very thoughtful in everything you do. That's what glamour is, just being very thoughtful about yourself and looking after yourself and making yourself feel the most powerful and beautiful and confident that you possibly can. These are all things that money can't buy. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!